You are standing in line at a coffee shop, waiting for your order, when an older woman leans close and says, "You have such beautiful eyes." The simple sentence hangs there, bright and unexpected. And immediately, what you feel is not warmth, but a sudden chill. The quick internal panic that makes you want to look down at the sticky tile floor instead of meet her gaze. It feels like praise, yet it registers deep inside your chest as something more demanding than admiration. It is less a gift and more an inventory check, isn't it? What does this unexpected compliment actually threaten in you? The quiet truth of the moment suggests that when someone points out some inherent goodness, the grace of your movement, the sharpness of your mind, the depth in your voice, what they are really accusing you of is being insufficiently enough for the praise given. The reaction is almost universally protective. We flinch at genuine recognition. It is a reflex honed by years of managing how we appear to others. It is the instinctual desire not to accept a permanent label, even one as kind as beautiful or clever. The compliment forces an immediate transaction. For them to feel comfortable giving you this acknowledgement, they must believe that the person they see in public, the polished version of yourself, is stable enough to hold it. Why do we perceive this simple regard as a subtle interrogation? Perhaps because compliments often require us to engage in what psychologists might call the performance of self. We learn how to navigate social spaces by adopting favorable personas, and when someone sees that persona clearly from a distance, they treat it like fact. They see the finished coat, but not the grease stains on your jeans, or the days you felt utterly unremarkable. A compliment is therefore not merely an observation. It is an implied demand for continuity. It says, "Do not let me be wrong about you." You suddenly feel obligated to uphold a level of competence or grace that might be impossible to maintain moment to moment. The kind words act as invisible scaffolding, suggesting that if you falter, if the exhaustion finally breaks through, or the uncertainty settles in your posture, you will have failed not just yourself, but the favorable assessment they made seconds before. What happens when the gap between the praised self and the private one becomes too wide? You start to feel a genuine sense of debt, not to the person giving the praise necessarily, but to the image they have crafted in their mind of you. That sudden weight, this emotional accounting, is heavier than any compliment could ever be. Consider this small detail: the careful way you hold your shoulders back when speaking, the practiced tilt of your head that suggests deep thought, even when the topic is nothing at all. These are gestures we deploy to keep the external assessment positive. We build a carefully maintained average score of good enough in our social accounting books. The compliment does not recognize USAW, the messy human doing dishes late on Friday night. It recognizes the successful character you have curated for public consumption. The discomfort is therefore rooted in this recognition that praise holds an implicit promise, the right to expect perfection. It changes a casual moment of connection into a subtle performance review. And because our actual lives are defined by their unavoidable unevenness, by moments of ordinary clumsiness or quiet doubt, we cannot live up to the flawless archetype they have seen reflected back at us. To feel accused is simply to feel that external validation has come tethered to expectation. It transforms genuine affirmation into a challenge. You find yourself performing gratitude while simultaneously feeling the deep resistance of wanting to tell them exactly how little effort went into being liked. The great difficulty, then, is learning that true regard should be able to withstand the full weight of your inconvenient reality. It must be generous enough not to require you to pay back their initial moment of kindness with an unsustainable commitment to a perceived ideal self. Sometimes, receiving a compliment feels like trying on shoes that are just slightly too small. They look good and fit well for a brief while, but they ache immediately after the pressure lifts. You want them gone, not because you hate the fit, but because the pain is intensely real. The quietest, bravest act of self-protection is often simply to accept the compliment with minimum fuss, allowing yourself to exist in the neutral space between their generous statement and your complicated reality. Do not try to negotiate the term or defend the premise. Just let it be a nice thing that happened for a moment and then return to waiting for your coffee, leaving no debt of expectation hanging in the air. If this gave you something to sit with, that is what this channel is for. Small shifts in how you see your own life. I will see you in the next one.